Hey everybody, it's a casual day today. I'm going to go out. I'm going to go to a small pond area, in town park kind of thing. Nothing too major. I'm going to take the Sony cameras, but I'm not going to be doing a lot of walking around. I'm just going to sit and do video, photos, whatever I see. Anything would be good. And the reason for that is something I alluded to last week, which, a few days ago. Yesterday, Sunday, was kind of a big day because I went bird watching in the morning, walked almost 3 miles. And then I went bird watching in the afternoon and walked another 3 miles. 6 miles is kind of a lot for someone who maybe does two most days. And as you can imagine, my legs are sore. So I'm not up for walking a whole lot today, but I am up for going out and just seeing what we can see. I'm going to take the Sony camera, like I said, with a tripod and a microphone so I can do video. I'm just going to sit and watch. Sitting is the priority. We're just going to see what we see. Because you know what? We saw some really cool stuff yesterday, and I really think I need to start bringing a camera. Um, but I just wanted to focus on learning from these people more so than trying to get a good shot. But I'd never seen a Ross's goose before, or a canvasback. And we saw some cool bald eagles, and like a bunch of other stuff. So the downside is that I don't get to capture those moments, but I still get to experience them, which is cool, and I get to learn, and I get to ask questions, then I get to come back to spots or similar ones, which is where I'm going today, was one that was recommended yesterday. And I've been there once before, but I didn't see very much. Time of year is very important. Anyway, let's get out there. We might be... Oh, nope. Oh, that was the end. Okay. There was a train that was going. And it started getting progressively slower as it went. And then I saw someone clearly in an orange high vis vest, like they were walking alongside it. So, but here we go. We're moving. So we'll be there shortly. And now I'm here. I haven't been to this location to take photos at all, actually. I don't know why. I did come here with a birdwatching group sometime last year. I will tell you we are right next to train tracks, so if another train comes through, that will be quite loud. It will be like, oh, that park back up in the mountains. Haven't thought about that place in years. But anyway, the ponds are pretty frozen over. There might be a few spots, and that actually is something to look for. If there are spots that are not frozen, that's where all the birds will kind of congregate to there, which was something I never thought about before going to these birdwatching meetups. And they talked about actually cold weather will drive them all together, and they'll be less competitive. They'll be less, aggressive because they're just surviving. They're just trying to survive. So I don't know how much I'll walk today necessarily, but I will look around, and if I see anything, I will take that opportunity to simply sit and record and watch, because there won't be a whole lot of light, so I won't be doing photos. But video should still come out. What do they call them? A bubbler, I think. I don't know if you can hear me, I didn't put a mic on. But there's a bench up here, and there are birds on the water. If I can get to there, and that's not too close without spoofing them, that's the goal. I will sit and watch where the water is not frozen. Sat for a while, watched, started walking for a while, watching. Right next to me, 20 feet away, up in the air, very gracefully going, female northern harrier. Really would like to get a good shot of them. Now, the camera was not on the tripod because I was just holding it. It makes it easier for moving, so I threw it on the tripod real quick thinking, well, I could at least get it from the backside as it's going. Tell me if you could see why there might be an issue with me real quick trying to see it through the eyepiece. Yeah, the mic's hitting me in the face before I can get my... So that distracted me. Did not get a shot of it, but I saw a northern harrier went somewhere over that way, so I'm going to hang out for a little bit longer and see if it pops up again. It's doing that thing where it's just low flying, looking for stuff in the grass to pounce on. We'll see. I'm coming back here for sure. It is in town, it is busy, people have dogs, but this creek, for sure, with the fact that there are trees on both sides with cover and I can see plenty of nests in there, I think I'd be able to come and sit and watch here for a bit and see some good stuff. So this is fun. Put a mic on. Well, it should be going. Ah, yes, there it is. That was fun. Just a nice little trip out. It kind of is good every once in a while, I think, for myself to reset. Just go out with zero expectations. Really think about why I'm doing this. And then have a fun, good time. Because the why is simple. It's fun. It's enjoyable. That was good. It wasn't about seeing the most or new stuff specifically. Just enjoying the nature. It's kind of cold, which is how it goes. Not a lot of sunlight, but the video should be okay. It's not going to be fantastic, but it's going to be okay. And that was really good for that reason to see. There was something, if I wanted to check. Never saw the harrier again after that first little bit. Bald eagle here and there. Quite a number of more common birds, but the common are good too. And the fact that I could just sit as close as I was, chickadees eventually came back to the trees where I was at. Like, I don't know if those came out. That one's really tough. That tripod is meant to take pictures, not video. It is not a video tripod, so movement is really, really shaky on there, anything like that. But I will say that I don't know if I have seen before 484. I think I have, because there aren't too many. That was the thing that I didn't see too many of. The dark-eyed junco. The Oregon version, more specifically, seems to have the black hood where at the top of it. We'll see. That was one, after I sat there for a while, kind of break it down the sequence of events. I was out there, walked a little bit, found a pond that wasn't frozen. Birds were there. We saw merganser and goldeneye and mallards, some gulls, geese. Was happy about that. Finally distinguishing, thanks to going to these events and talking to people who are more skilled than I am and know these things. I know the difference between the cackling geese and the Canada geese now, better on sight, now that I've actually seen it. It really helped when we were actually just yesterday looking at them. They're like, here's the example of one. There's probably a mix between them, but here is a good example of, you got one standing almost side by side profile, and you can see the difference, how this one is just noticeably smaller, the cackling, and the bill is shorter. So now that I know that, and it was just yesterday and it's fresh, when I saw a pair out there that came out from the reeds and went and sat on the bank of ice, I guess, I was able to get a nice shot of that for a while. That was good. So yeah, a good time with all of that. And some of the more exciting things, seeing the harrier, the dark-eyed junco. I think I have seen them before because there's not too many kinds of junco. And I did see one, I believe, for the first time up in Wyoming. I took a picture of it on a fence one time while I was walking over a mountain. But I don't have too many of that, and I certainly don't have very many video, and I don't know if the video is going to come up from anything like that, but I did the best that I could with everything. Saw a red-tailed hawk at one point. I think I put that on the list. Red-tailed, yes, that was sighted. Yeah. Overall, a wide variety of things. I can see where this is a popular park for sure. Probably might be better, I was going to say on a Monday, but it is Monday. So if this is what it's like on a Monday, it's probably be even way more crowded on a Saturday. But overall, not too bad. A good time for sure. It was nice to just kind of, like I said, reset. Come back to very low expectations. Will I see anything? Good. Can I do something about it? I mean, like taking photos? Not necessarily. That's okay. Video is kind of where I want to be anyway, doing that kind of stuff. And the camera can do video. I've just mostly stopped it because the quality is better at the stuff that, like what we did on Saturday with big cameras and things like that. But overall, still fun. Still a really fun time. I was talking with somebody yesterday on one of the multiple bird watching walks I went on. And I was talking with somebody who was like, how long they've been doing it and doing it a really long time and how much they've learned and just passing lots and lots of information, which I'm super thankful about. And it's really helpful. And one of the things they talked about was journaling their stuff. Like basically every time they go out at the end of the day, they go back, just, pen and paper, write it down and things. I was like, yeah, that really makes sense. And, especially as we were talking about, you've got something you can look back on and look through that. I'm like, I'm kind of doing the same thing. It's just video. Because really, that's the point of doing all of this and going back. I'm going to have more or less a completed history. The only thing I'm not recording, and that's for everybody's, people can get uncomfortable when a camera turns on. I don't want to do that at these bird watching meetups of any kind. I don't bring any cameras. I don't do anything like that. I do maybe want to bring a camera in case I see something that I've never seen before, but it would probably be this one here. I have been thinking that more. I've also been thinking what I've seen some people have there, especially when it's just like a pair, super lightweight, a pair of binoculars and one camera. There is a camera that I would consider for such a purpose. I think it's a Nikon, and it's basically a point and shoot, but it has a really nice extending lens. Like it is an optical zoom, not a digital zoom, so that's good. I think I have to double check on that. I looked very briefly for what they were. I don't remember what I think they're like the P1000, but now they have a 1100 out or something like that. And it's just the extension of it. It goes to like 1,000 millimeters or 2,000 millimeters, something crazy like that. I don't know how you can get a clear shot with that and hand holding. Like, I don't know, maybe there's, the stabilization of that must be incredible for the fact that I do see multiple people, including one of the really good guides, have this and just be like, okay, here we go. Just when they need to take a picture, which especially for this, for two reasons do I want to do that. One, in case I see something I've never seen before, or we see something rare, like we've seen more recently, and you take a picture. I did with my phone. I mean, the Samsung phone I have has, it's, super zoom, whatever. The pictures do not come out of any kind of quality that I want to share with anyone ever, but it would count for identification. And since I'm kind of tracking it in the eBird app,
The rare ones, if you have no proof of it, are more likely to get kicked out, from what I've been told. So having just something there to prove, hey, I saw this thing that was rare, because there have been a few. I don't know if they've been kicked out or anything, but there's definitely been ones that I've seen that, like, I have reported and been, hey, this is a thing that I saw, and without any proof, I'm sure that there's a good chance of that. But I don't know. There's a lot of politics around that kind of stuff from what I've learned. But overall, a really good time every time, and I'm happy about it. And I'm recording. That was the whole point of why I started this. I'm recording basically every time I go out. For the most part. There have been instances where I haven't. But when I started this, I kind of went camera first and picked up a camera. Then discovered I really like taking pictures of birds after that. And was writing blogs for a few years on the, like, going back through photos after that point, after I'd done it a bit, and when, like, oh, this is something that's going to stick around. That was how we started, was I would look back through the photos, remember everything from that day, and try to fill in the blanks and tell the story of that. And now it's completely expanded to just as I'm doing it. It's way easier to just press a button, hit record, capture what's around. And I'm not very fluent with words, so I can't really describe just how breathtaking a scene is when I get out there and go, oh, wow, this is really pretty. I can take a picture. That's better. I can take a video. It's even better, usually. Not always. There was a waterfall. I didn't say that, but it was on here, and I talked about it. There was a waterfall at one point. It's man-made. Whatever. It's still cool with that. I like that. I haven't been around a waterfall in quite some time, and it reminded me of the last time that I remember being around a waterfall in North Carolina. I'm sure there's been one since then, but taking long exposure photography so that the water all comes together. I was not set up to do that. I did the best that I could with the equipment I had, but I don't know if that's going to come out. But it reminded me, and it was a fun time to see that nature. That is something that does spark my interest whenever I see it, and I go, oh yeah, waterfall. That's cool. So, good birds. Good time. Weather was fine. A lot of clouds. Think we might get some snow tomorrow, I believe is what the forecast is. But it's good. And I'm having fun while I'm doing it. So that ends this video journal. That's not really... There's a reason it's a log, isn't it? Because journal and video, and you can bind that together in a journ. That doesn't sound right. Bye, everybody.